Who's thinking about buying football in June? Well, with the super early bird football promotion at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, we have a few reasons why. Early bird pricing for NFL and college football combo is $8.99, but using coupon code FOOTBALL100, you can take $100 off, dropping the price to $7.99. If you purchase by June 30th and use coupon code FOOTBALL100 to get your $100 discount, we'll also toss in an additional bonus. On July 4th, we'll take the highest scoring MLB game of the day and give you $10 for every run scored. Yes, so if July 4th, the highest scoring game is 10-9, you will get $190 in wager bucks to use how you choose. This super early bird $100 discount using Football 100 and wager bucks bonus expires on June 30th with no exceptions. So if you plan to bet football this year, this is the lowest price we will offer. So act fast and lock in your favorite football handicappers in both NFL and college football through the national championships and Super Bowl.
Welcome into First Pitch right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I am Drew Martin, joined by Dave Koken and Steve Merrill of WagerTalk.com. We're breaking down the card on tonight's slate. We got best bets at the end. Two of the best in the business here, Steve Merrill, Dave Koken. Follow Dave on Twitter at Dave Koken. Check him out, WagerTalk.com. The number one MLB handicapper since 2019. Also number one in golf as well. So on the links, on the diamond, he's getting it done. Dave, welcome in. Happy Thursday morning to you, buddy.
And number one in college football all time at WagerTalk. So we'll be looking forward to building on that this year. Didn't have a real good season last year, but ahead of schedule and preparation for this year's schedule. Meanwhile, we got baseball today. How about a couple of day games, but got some night games to talk about here.
We do. Three of them coming up, and Steve Merrill going to be breaking them down as well. And Steve, I'm seeing here 80% the last 9 days, 67% on the diamond the last month. He's heating up. Check him out at WagerTalk.com, at Steve Merrill on Twitter. Steve, you're seeing it well on the diamond, man. Welcome in.
Yeah, I haven't missed a baseball play all week, actually. So red hot in baseball, as you said, 80% run going back to last week, 67% in May. So this is a great time of year to be playing baseball, not only because we're winning, but also because either tonight or Sunday at the latest will be the end of the NBA season, right? Either one or two games remaining there. Hockey's only got about 4 to 5 games to go, depending on how long that series goes. So it's quiet time, guys. Baseball, the next 2 months, 2.5 months till football. And I say quiet time because so many people take the summer off, but it's such a mistake from an investing standpoint because this is the best moneymaker in all of sports. One baseball season alone is an NHL and NBA season combined, 162 games. We're only about 40% of the way through. We got 5 months to go for the World Series in early November. I still have a last chance opportunity to get the rest of the NBA Finals, including tonight's strong best bet, for free when you get my MLB special. No promo code needed. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Guys, let's get after it and head to New York for the first matchup. Great ballpark here in Citi Field for the Brewers and the Mets. Ashby versus McGill. Dave, coming to you first here. We're seeing minus $1.25 for McGill. Not a lot of starts lately. Not sure if that's a bet on or a fade here for the Mets starter. Total of 8. Are you liking anything Brew Crew and Mets here in Citi Field?
Not enough to bet, but I'll give you a lean on the game. McGill is not pitching at the level he was early in the season. He was sensational out of the gate for the Mets, but he's had some injury issues and just hasn't been as sharp since returning. Ashby, look, he's a young guy. He's got strikeout stuff. He definitely gets swings and misses. He does have a tendency to get wild, which, you just cannot put Mets on base free of charge. So I toyed between the over and the side here. Get a little better price with the side. I would actually rate Ashby a little ahead of McGill right now on the numbers. And the Brewers, after losing 9 out of 10, they got a win they needed yesterday. That was a confidence-building win, double digits runs, easy victory over the Mets. Maybe that carries forward. This team's too good to be losing as many as they have lately. So I'll give a lean to the Brewers in this one. First 5 are full game. Take your pick. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, looking towards the short dog there. Of course, Milwaukee, the big names at the end of that bullpen here, Steve. So if it is a tight tight match. But hey, the Mets bullpen hasn't been bad either. You can see it in their record. The second best record here in baseball, laying $1.25. Kind of a tough, tricky handicap for me. You agree with Dave though? Maybe looking towards the short dog here, Steve?
Well, I think the question is, did the Brewers get back on track? Because as Dave said, this is a team that was leading the division. Obviously not playing good baseball the last couple of weeks with that extended losing streak. What was it, 8 straight games? They've won 2 of the 3, though, since. They had a shutout loss in between, which kind of throws me off a little bit. But they had 9 hits or more, 11 hits or more in 2 of those other 3, 9 hits or more in all 3 of the other games. So I do think their offense is starting to pick up. Mets have been offensively strong all season. We know that. They had 34 straight hits, but now they've had just 8 and 5 hits their last 2 games. So I think you can make a case the Mets are starting to cool off. Brewers are starting to heat up, so I would lean towards Milwaukee, especially at the plus money price. Also would have no problem with the over 8. It opened 7.5. It's now 8 to the over. It's been a little bit of sharp money on the over in this game. I think that makes sense. Milwaukee team total. If you lean Milwaukee in the over, maybe a Milwaukee team total over as well.
Good stuff, Steve. Let's head to the second game here. Coming back to you, Steve. 7:10 Eastern start, Texas Rangers. Detroit Tigers here from the Motor City. We get Bo Brisky, I believe is how you pronounce it here for the Tigers. And Steve, he's off of a heck of a start against the Blue Jays. 5.2 innings, 0 earned runs. Now he's going up against the Rangers lineup. Martin Perez, the lefty, going for Texas, minus 150 to minus 160 here. So heavy favorite. That's the Rangers on the road. 8.5 the total. You liking anything in Comerica Park, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, this should be a bounce back spot for Perez. Terrible outing back on June 11th last Saturday. He gave up 12 hits, 6 earned runs in just 5 innings, and just 1 home run, by the way. He was hit hard, and it wasn't long shots that did the damage. It was just base hit after base hit. That's a bad sign, but in the case, these guys are in the big league rotations because they're quality, and they usually do bounce back. And he'd given up 2 earned runs or less in every other start this season before that, going back to his debut, first 2 debuts in April. He'd had like 6 or 7 straight starts, 2 earned runs or less. So does look like a potential bounce back spot. I'm not in a hurry to lay almost $1.60 on the road with the Rangers or at home with the Rangers for that issue. In fact, the last time they laid money was with Perez back on June 5th, and they lost outright at home against Seattle. They played, I believe, 9 straight games as a dog until this one tonight. So can make a case this is a little bit of a false favorite here in Texas. A team that is 15-15 on the road. They've actually been better on the road than at home, where they're just 14-18. But then again, I'm in no hurry to back the Detroit Tigers. Johnny Detroit's Detroit Tigers. Other than the Royals, maybe the worst team in baseball, they both happen to be in that terrible AL Central. So pick your poison here. I think the Rangers win this game. I think Perez probably bounces back with a decent outing. But as far as value, minus 160, this would not make my card.
Okay. And Dave, do you have any opinion here in Comerica Park tonight?
No, I'm going to watch Martin Perez here because, look, he's had the best year of his life in the first 2 months of this season. He has been tremendous. And I've been waiting for a sell sign on him because he's just not this good. And it might have come in the last game. If he puts another bad game up tonight, it might be time to start looking to fire against the left-hander. Brisky did pitch well last time out, but his overall numbers are not good. The Tigers can't hit at all. I mean, their offense is just unspeakably bad. And it's been really bad lately. Over the last 7 days, they've got a weighted runs created plus of 41. Average is 100. 41 is off the charts terrible. So there's no consideration at all to play Detroit. And I would be cautious with Perez here. I don't think it's necessarily a bounce back. Although the good news is for him, he's facing the worst offense in baseball. So maybe he does bounce back. But it's a kind of look and learn game for me on Perez. If he has a second straight bad outing, it's time to start bailing on him because it means he's returning to, or regressing, if you will, to what has been his career norm.
Sure. Good point there, Dave. You might be able to kind of sell on Martin Perez if this is a start to a new trend towards the downside. Guys, we got 1 game left and best bets coming up at the end. We're going to head out west here for the nightcap for the show. Dave, coming to you first here. In the Pacific Northwest, we get the Angels at the Mariners. Pretty good matchup here, not only pitching-wise, but just, hey, you can see it in the line. Minus $1.25, minus 120 actually at most shops right now. Looking at the WagerTalk odds screen, that's the Angels as the short road favorite. Ohtani versus Kirby, total of 7. Dave, you liking anything between the Halos and the M's tonight?
Well, look, I'm going to give Ohtani the edge, despite the fact that I'm very impressed with Kirby. He's a good young pitcher for Seattle. Great control. You're not going to get free passes off this guy. Ohtani he's the guy for the Angels. I mean, they've played such bad ball lately, but they did have a win when Ohtani was out there, and he's clearly their best option as far as the mound goes. I don't know what to do here. Can you bet an Angels team? It's like, what, 2-17 or something in the last 19? I'm not going to do that. Seattle's also not exactly crushing the ball right now. They were, but they've had some struggles lately. I'll be honest, I haven't got the slightest clue as to what to do with this game.
It is a tough one, Steve. I mean, I like Ohtani, not only as a fan, the batter, the pitcher. I think he's good at both positions here. To Dave's point, look, the Angels haven't been good. I do think they're a lot better than their record, at least, what was that, 2-17, whatever Dave just said. I don't know, man. I like the Angels here. I circled them to bet them. I actually wanted to hear what both Dave and yourself had to say in this one. So have at it, man. What are you liking in the nightcap?
Yeah, Dave said 2-19. You said 2-17. I actually think it's 2-18. We're going to average it in, but I think it is 2-18. The reason I say that, guys, is because I remember the Angels, I believe, and I might be wrong, I think they were 27-17 before the losing streak began, and they're now 29-35. So that would be, 2-18, I think. Point is, you don't try to catch those falling knives, right? That's what happens. We've talked about that, Drew, whether it's the financial markets or the sports betting markets. Angels lose 14 straight. They lost 13 straight. They fired the manager. Unlike the Phillies, they didn't bounce back. They lost again. But then, as Dave said, they won with Ohtani on the mound, which I don't think was a coincidence. I do think they're going to, especially with Trout injured again, they're going to rally when Ohtani's out there because he's been their consistent guy the last 2 years. Trout was out last year, was playing well earlier this year. But look, they still lost 3 of their last 4. And they've lost, 4 of their last 5 since they won that game with Ohtani. So they have not, they're still falling. They're starting to bounce maybe, but that knife is still falling. Not going to try to catch it. And the reason they've been struggling hasn't been the pitching, it's the hitting. 6 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits the last 3 games they've all lost. Mariners, though, ice cold as well. They've been shut out in 2 of their last 4 games. 6 hits or less in all 4 games. Under 7 makes sense to me here. I wish it was a 7.5. We got a 7 over. I doubt we'll see 7.5 by first pitch, but it is a late game, so keep an eye on that line. I like under 7. I like under 7.5 even more if it gets there by 10 o'clock Eastern tonight.
And Steve, you said Trout injured. Last night, Trout was in the lineup with Ohtani. I like betting on the Angels when Ohtani's pitching, to your point, like last time they won. But also we get him as the batter as well, for sure, because usually once a week he does take off. I believe it's usually the day after he pitches. But did Trout get injured last night?
No,
I'm just saying he's been up and down the last few weeks. He was having a nice little season.
Yeah.
It just looks like injuries on the radar again with Trout, and I just don't think they're going to be able to rely on him all season.
Right. Okay. Okay, good stuff, guys. Yeah, Trout batted second and Ohtani third last night. So, yeah, I might jump on the Angels tonight in the late night game. We do have best bets up now. As always, guys, if you're watching on replay, feel free to reply below on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Any questions, what you're betting tonight, it's all welcome. If you're liking the content, please smash that like button. Check out Dave and Steve at WagerTalk.com, myself as well, Drew Martin. Dave, throw it over to you for kind of final thoughts for the show, and if you got a best bet, bud.
It's not really a best bet. We're kind of limited today because a bunch of day games, and the only 2 games I bet were day games. So I'll give you one that I sent in on our Slack channel for the best bet, and I'll give you a second one that will make it co-best bets. But again, they're not bets for me. These are just leans. Brewers first 5. I'm going Ashby over McGill, and I think the Brewers might have found some offense last night. The Mets actually not raking as they have been most of the season of the last few days. And the other one, Ohtani Kirby, first 5 under 5. Not under 5, first 5 innings under. I think Ohtani's got a good chance to limit the Seattle offense, which isn't doing much right now. And the Angels offense just isn't very good at this point. So 2 good pitchers. You could see a lack of runs early on here. So we'll give you those 2 as opinions. But again, I'm not betting either one.
Guys, for my best bet, I'm going to go to the Philadelphia Phillies Washington Nationals game. So NL East matchup here. I'm going to lay it with the favorite. That's -1.5, -130. I don't want to lay $2 on the money line. Nobody wants to hear that. So I'm going to lay the 1.5, -130 on the Phillies. Look, the Phillies 11-2 last 13. Shout out to Dave Koken in terms of jumping on that trend for June when they fired their manager. Going to look to continue to ride it here with Zach Wheeler on the hill. Guys, if you haven't been following Zach Wheeler, look at his strikeout rate, right under 30%. His walk rate is at 5, so his strikeout to walk rate is absolutely money. He's given up 3 earned runs in his last 3 starts combined, all going 6 innings. This guy's been lights out. I actually looked to fade him a couple games ago. That was a huge mistake. So kind of trying to learn from my mistake here. Look to bet on him, the hot team, and going up against the Nationals. The Nationals, unfortunately here, Steve, they haven't been good lately. Lost 4 straight, lost 7 of 9. I know they're the home team here, but actually that's kind of the reason laying the run line with the away team. That's kind of really the only time I lay it on the run line is if the team is the road team here. So that points me towards the Phillies, -1.5, -130 for my best bet. Steve, I'll throw it over to you. Any final thoughts, man? MLB, the financial markets, where are you going with your best bet tonight?
I got so many final thoughts. By the way, if you look at the AL East and the NL East, 8 of the 10 teams have a positive run differential. The only 2 that are negative are the Baltimore Orioles and my Washington Nationals. And it used to be my Baltimore Orioles when I was growing up because we didn't have the Washington Nationals. So the Beltway boys are not playing good baseball this year in those 2 Eastern divisions, which are really loaded. So never a problem fading the Nationals, Drew. Don't you worry about that. Going to look at a free play for Thursday night baseball, a game that was just a bit outside from making the cut, and that's because I've got a strong NBA Finals Game 6 best bet tonight. It might be a limited baseball card, but it's a big game on the board tonight. NBA Finals Game 6, up almost 100 units over the past year on NBA sides. Finish your season right, either tonight or Sunday. I'll let you know if it goes 7 or not with that best bet winner right now at WagerTalk.com. And don't forget, this is also your last chance to get the NBA Finals for free, including tonight's strong best bet when you get my $4.99 MLB special. It's $4.99 for the rest of the season. WagerTalk just cut that price for everyone. But tonight and tonight only, I've got a special link which gets you the NBA Finals with it for free. The rest of baseball as well through November. And by the way, a mere 80% the past couple weeks here in MLB, 67% in May. It's quiet time the next 2 months. Make some money in Major League Baseball. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Game that just missed the cut, just a bit outside, is the over in the Milwaukee game. But I like over the team total. Milwaukee's lost 8 out of 10, but they've won 2 out of 3. It looks like they're turning the corner. Mets are due to cool off, and they have just 8 and 5 hits their last 2 games. So instead of playing the game over or playing Milwaukee plus money, let's take Milwaukee on the team total. I lean Milwaukee in the over, but I think the team total makes the most sense. Milwaukee Brewers over 3.5 total runs. This is a team, even when they're on that 8-game losing streak going into this week or into last week, it looked like they were turning the corner. Those last 2 losses, they put up 5 and 6 runs, 11 runs on 18 hits. They've now won 2 of their last 3. They've had 9 hits or more 4 of their last 6 games, 11 hits or more in 3 of their last 6, 10 runs yesterday against the Mets. I think that's the buy sign in Milwaukee, and that over 3.5 is a cheap price for their team total. Milwaukee Brewers over 3.5, Thursday night, 7 Eastern. Don't forget the strongest play tonight, NBA Finals Game 6. It's on my page right now at WagerTalk.com. Get it as a single play or get it for free with that MLB season special. Last chance to do it right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Brew Crew to light it up, guys. Over 3.5 runs on that team total. I'm on the Phillies, minus the run line, -130. Dave Koken, I guess on record with the Brewers first 5, +105, and Angels Mariners first 5, under 3.5. So, guys, again, please smash that like button. If you're liking the content here, check out Steve and Dave, WagerTalk.com. I am Drew Martin. Best of luck with your bets. We'll talk tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks for tuning in.
Want a free PlayStation? Yes, free. Who would have thought in November 2020, when Sony released that PlayStation 5, that we'd be sitting here almost 20 months later with no consoles on shelves and very few available with online retailers? Well, we got our hands on a disc console, but instead of teaching President Teddy how to play NBA 2K, we'd like to send it to a loyal WagerTalk supporter. You can start earning entries now and repeat daily just by going to wt.buzz/PS5 and perform the social media task below to earn entries into our raffle. The contest will end at midnight on July 3rd, and a random winner will be announced on July 4th. Help us reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and grow our social media footprint, and you could be the new owner of a PS5.